So let me preface this by saying that I'm not the biggest OG Marvel fanboy that's seen every single movie 500 times. I'm an average or even below average Marvel movie watcher who's seen the biggest movies, and the rest I kind of skimmed over it. So sue me if you're upset about that. I'm also not going to give a play-by-play of what happened because I'll assume you've seen it already, and remember if you're watching this video. Obviously there's going to be spoilers, so if you haven't seen it, go away now, but if you like my voice or don't mind being spoiled, here we go. Let's start with what worked. The way the Russo brothers were able to capture all characters and give, at least in my opinion, enough screen time to the important ones was solid. Sure, there are times where it seemed like Thor was always shown, or maybe Captain America wasn't shown enough, but by the end you could feel like nobody was really forgotten and everybody had a good amount of screen time. Another thing I liked was the pairings that the movie chose seemed to work really well, such as Iron Man and Spider-Man and Doctor Strange all fighting and bickering on that planet, but at the end they seemed to understand the direness of their situation and were able to work together. Thor, Rocket, and Gru were also cool to see, and you could see how developed Rocket is as a character, personally one of my favorite Avengers. The whole Captain America and Wakanda members seemed a little shaky sometimes and wasn't my favorite group, but ultimately they did their job as well. Thanos definitely worked, probably one of the only villains in the MCU that actually felt unstoppable or like he could do real harm. I like the backstory of his character since it was never explored in other Marvel films, however now after seeing this I kind of wish it was more. Like his relationship with Gamora, his willingness to do whatever it takes to make sure that half of humanity survives. You could really feel like Thanos really cared about what he was doing, despite whether or not it was morally correct or not. And obviously Josh Brolin did a great job as the angry Titan. What also worked was the ending. To have your favorite characters possibly disappear forever right before your eyes and not knowing who was next and what was going to happen to them was really intense. In the first theater I watched in, you could hear so many WTFs and screams of anger at their favorite characters like Black Panther, Doctor Strange, and the loudest probably for Spider-Man, all around the theater. It was sad but awesome to see the effect a movie could do to people, including me. To be unsure of what happens next aside from the Captain Marvel Easter egg for most fans is actually a really good idea. I'm really excited to see what happens in the next Avengers movie. Now let's get into what didn't work. I didn't really like Thanos' boys. By that I mean his henchmen and I guess children. They seem powerful and weak at the same time. Sometimes they monologue too much, like with that one guy, the Squidward guy and Doctor Strange, and sometimes they couldn't even beat Avengers who had no powers like Black Widow. This inconsistency was small, but I did notice it and it did leave enough room for me to desire more. What also didn't work, in my opinion, was the repetitive storyline. To me, it was always, give me the stone or I kill this person you love, and even Thanos had to go through it with Gamora. It was fine sometimes, but you could see that sometimes there was like nothing else they could do to motivate people to give them the stone. I get that the overall theme of the movie was probably sacrifice, but I kind of do wish that they thought of something else at certain times. Another thing was that certain characters seemed kind of ineffective. I really liked Thor's big action scene to save Wakanda with Stormbreaker. I really liked Iron Man, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, and the Guardians against Thanos. But other characters like Captain America, Black Panther were fighting aliens the whole time and didn't really do much. Like they just spent like one action scene against Thanos and just got knocked away. Another thing is Hulk didn't do anything this movie. I'm not a huge fan of Hulk, but some fans are, and I can understand the disappointment in not seeing their favorite hero from pretty much the second movie, third movie of the MC universe just not be included like at all after the opening scene. Overall, I did like the movie. I saw it twice in theaters and probably will watch it when it's online or on DVD. A lot of things did work, only a few things didn't work. I do think it's in my top 5 favorite MCU movies of all time. Maybe not number 1 or number 2 like a lot of people's right now. That's just my opinion. You can have your own. I want you to share your own in the comments below. And until next time, thanks for watching. Peace.
Defeated. Do not let this happen again.